It is my great honor, tinged with deep sadness, to be presenting the inaugural Dr. Jack Erban Director of Research Chair tonight. Okay, first, on behalf of all of us at Silent Spring, I'd like to welcome all of Jack's family and friends for being with us tonight. Your support has transformed our concept of an enduring chair into a reality, ensuring that Jack's legacy will live on and on through the groundbreaking research that Silent Spring will conduct. Thank you so very much. And now I'd like to talk about the most special of men, Jack Erban. He was an extraordinary person in so many ways, and as many of the women and their loved ones here tonight know firsthand, the most compassionate, talented, and brilliant physician. His capacity to be there during one's most vulnerable moments was unsurpassed. He was just the best. So how did such an erudite, top-ranked, establishment, and esteemed oncologist and scientist become first a supporter and then a member of the Silent Spring Board of Directors, a group in those days not known for our establishment credentials? Here's the story. Jack and I were close colleagues at Tufts Medical Center. He as the medical oncologist and I as the oncology social worker. We worked hand in hand with the utmost respect for one another, always consulting about everything with the goal of making life better for our patients. As we each grew in our careers, we continued our friendship and checked in with each other on more strategic issues. We were members of a mutual admiration society. I introduced Jack to Silent Spring during lunch one day. At the time, I felt strongly that we needed someone with Jack's standing in the medical community. It might be hard to understand now, but in those days, prior to the amazing stewardship of Silent Spring by the incomparable Julie Brody, we were seen by the larger scientific community with great skepticism. How could a group of community activists, discounted by many of our detractors as hysterical women, dare to team up with scientists and undertake credible research? We knew we could, but we needed a Jack Erban, and of course there was only one Jack Erban, to provide some cancer establishment cred. When I urged him to take on this role, he was all in, as I knew he would be. Thus started his 25 years of deep engagement on the board of Silent Spring and his commitment to our research. Thank you, Jack. And I imagine Jack is rollerblading right now somewhere, celebrating that the inaugural Dr. Jack Erban Director of Research Chair will be filled by another exceptional scientist and remarkable human being, Ruthann Rudel. 28 years ago, Ruthann embraced the challenge of collaborating with our group of activists, knowing that solid science was not only possible, but enhanced by this collaboration. Ruthann always knew that Silent Spring would develop into a unique and well-respected scientific institution and never wavered in that belief. Now Ruthann is a nationally recognized expert in toxicology, making major contributions toward our understanding of toxic exposures, endocrine-related diseases, breast carcinogens, and breast cancer. In addition to her scientific chops, Ruthann is the loveliest of people, kind, patient, interested, engaged, and engaging. It has been so clear that the present state of Silent Spring's status is due in no small part to the presence of Ruthann Rudel as our senior scientist. Jack and Ruthann shared the understanding that Silent Spring's most groundbreaking research doesn't always conform to traditional funding sources. Together, they pushed boundaries, thinking outside the box and seeking support from generous donors like all of you. Thank you, Ruthann, from all of us who started with an idea, for doing so much to bring that idea to fruition. We know that as you assume the Jack Erban Director of Research chair, you will continue to follow your innovative path. Congratulations.
Wow. Thank you. Thanks for the kind words. The early days at Silent Spring were a pretty wild time for sure. I feel very lucky to have had this opportunity. Anyway, most of all, I want to thank Jack's family and all his supporters for making this position possible. I'm especially honored and grateful for the opportunity to continue Silent Spring's work in his name, in his memory. Jack was an exceptionally open-minded oncologist. He was deeply interested in our science, in understanding the role of the environment in breast cancer, in particular the role of endocrine disruptors like BPA and other chemicals in consumer products that interfere with estrogen. He joined the board shortly after we launched the Cape Cod Breast Cancer and Environment Study and played a critical role supporting our scientific team through the painstaking process of publishing our work in peer-reviewed journals. Jack was beloved by his patients, as we have heard already, and as he brought every bit of his scientific acumen to their care, he also had a deeply humane perspective on the enormous burden of breast cancer. His daily work treating women with the disease fueled his sense of urgency around preventing it. He had an international perspective, too. He came back from China shaken and even more convinced that the prevention of environmental cancers was the only economically viable answer to rising incidence worldwide. His insights gave our work a sense of urgency, too. Too many women get breast cancer. But we are changing that. The Dr. Jack Erban Director of Research chair sets Silent Spring up for continued success. It puts us on a path to do even greater things. It's an investment in leading-edge breast cancer prevention research. It allows us to build a diverse staff that elevates our research and broadens our approach to prevention. It allows us to attract the best and the brightest and enable them to explore innovative lines of research that are not typically funded by government grants. I am so proud and lucky to have been a part of Silent Spring for all these years, and I'm especially excited about the opportunities ahead. Thank you again for this wonderful honor.